Thank you very much, Anilesh, for extending this opportunity. And I'm really happy to have this set of panel and such distinguished panelists to have participated in this. And while everyone has been introduced, let me also start while we speak from the point of view of how the initiatives to the social outreach and how exactly the growth has led into primarily to the result that has come as the outcomes. Mr. Pathak, while we speak from the point of view of how your interventions into the policy, the experience into the kind of the dealing with the climate and clean tech has been, how do you think has been the contributions largely played a role, a significant one, into bringing that change coming from a point where you have interacted with these stakeholders, contributing into how exactly the changes are led on the ground?
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity. And before I go on to the subject, I would really like to thank the Climate Parliament, which is a forum which actually involves parliamentarians, legislature, and drive them from behind to ensure that the policy shapes are taken in right direction. So it's extraordinary work that they are doing. Now, coming back to your question, you asked about how the interactions and public interventions and interactions are actually leading the country forward in a nutshell. So it is important to understand one thing, that many a times you may have a different and contrarian opinion about the parliament, but the collective wisdom of the parliament is really extraordinary. There are people who may have a different expertise on something, but there are other parliamentarians who have a different expertise. So put together, if you look at the collective wisdom of them, it is something very pious and overall well-meaning. Now, interactions are very important because that's how you build and frame the policies. And to begin any journey, there are two fundamental things that you have to understand. One is the policy framework and the other one is execution. What I feel is that there is no dearth of brain in our country to frame the policies. There are extraordinary people who are framing good policies. Where I think we can do much better and improve ourselves is in execution. Now, when it comes to the executional power or executional efficiency is the better term that we should look forward. I would say that although we are growing the way we want to grow, but until and unless we bring the institutional efficiency and some sort of institutional parameter which gauge and judge whether the processes that have been laid down for the adopting anything, any policy matter, whether it's going on right direction or not. So until and unless the processes are transparent and to and fro, let us say one of the gentlemen on the dash, he was mentioning that the education, business community and the policy maker, all these three should come together to drive the country. But now the biggest challenge here is the feedback, the transparent feedback mechanism. You make a policy, you execute it, and whoever is the recipient of the policy should have a forum where he can put it back, the discrepancy, deficiencies, or positive even, so that the policymakers can again look into it. And then, so that is the process of evolution has to be expedited and driven much faster than just making a policy and 20 years down the line, sitting back again and framing another policy may not work.
Well, very rightly said, as I understand from where exactly the thought is coming. But interestingly, what really happens, and while we are all aware about how exactly the contributions also stem into the policy making as well from the political arena as well. But what are the key areas where you think and feel exactly that the political level intervention is also important, into challenge, into taking on to these challenges when it comes, because this is not just a rhetoric subject. We also think of it on a different level while we also have these issues affecting us all equally.
Totally agree. See, ultimately the country is run and governed by the governments, and governments are primarily of one of the political parties, as we see. If you look at the entire trajectory of the country, there are different political parties have governed at different stages. Broadly, I can tell this with full sense of responsibility and sincerity that all the governments have contributed greatly to the country. You may agree on something, you may disagree on something. Right from after the independence, if you look at the trajectory, we started great thing on the technology. And then all the way we came to, like we started from the Nehru ji, then came the, eventually it grew up to Manmohan Singh ji, then Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji. Look at the trajectory in terms of science and technology. I would like to highlight one thing which is very critical, that you just heard the DST secretary mentioning that the bureaucratic complexity is one of the parameter which is actually creating a hindrance to growth in our country. Other than the political intervention and will of the politicians that is always there because that's the primary driver, the complexity in the bureaucratic setup has to be addressed immediately. And that is where the process and process efficiency comes into picture. So even if you make a good policy, extraordinary policy, and if you are unable to execute it, execution is through the bureaucratic setup. If you are unable to execute it, it's not going to help anywhere. So leaders are the one who actually laid down the foundation. Bureaucrats and entire organization and institutions are the one which execute. So both ways it is very important.
Well, you said about the policy and how exactly the implementation is equally important while we also strategize into ways of including it. I'll also like to take a question from Dr. Shikha Meel, who is the Rajasthan MLA, and how exactly your background stems from a place where the most impact of the clean tech and also the climate innovations relate to the public health, and you have also yourself made significant basically delivery in the assembly as well about how health and education related to the climate have been. What do you feel have been the significant contributions given your experience on the ground into dealing with the challenges that have come?
First of all, thank you Bharat Climate Forum for having me here. And coming to your question, like, the situation at present, like Dr. Sandeep said, it's quite challenging because of these all bureaucracy-related complexities. We have a lot many good schemes, like if I talk about my constituency and nearby areas, we have been facing a water crisis. So we need many schemes, and they are already there, but they are not being implemented on ground. And like as the Rajasthan, it's the new renewable energy hub. So we are having, I heard so many discussions today, and again we are technologically a step behind where we should have been today. Like we are generating a lot of solar power, but we are still lagging behind in transmission and distribution areas, storage areas. So that needs not only to be done on paper, that needs to be implemented and monitored. Then only we can, the parliamentarians, legislators, all of them, they can be successful only when the monitoring is good.
You mean, in fact, the monitoring is the most crucial aspect where we look at the implementation when we speak about?
It's as significant as the policy framing. So we get feedback from people and we look at the situation. The policies are framed, but if, as we talked, if they are not implemented and they don't reach the people, like we are facing water crisis challenges. So there are many Mukhya Mantri, Jal Sanchay Yojana and all, but they are not being, you do not see any work being done on ground. So that is important. The implementation, again, that part is most important, and the monitoring of what needs to be done, what feedbacks we have, and how can we then, you see, modify or include any modifications in that policy.
But what can be done to accelerate while we talk about green mobility? And these are most largely the subjects where people on the ground cannot really connect, or they don't seem to have a direct connection. So how do we achieve it? Is the big question while we see the challenges up front on the ground.
There was a topic today that got, cancelled. It was regarding cooling innovations. So, if we talk about that, we really need some innovations to be done in different areas, and for that, we need to develop scientific temperament in our coming generation, the kids who are in school and then in colleges. Scientific temperament, I guess, is the basic need of the hour. That needs to be developed, and that only goes to industries, that only goes to different fields. So that, I guess, is more important.
All right. In fact, on that note, I would also like to include Mr. Divyaraj, who's the MLA from Madhya Pradesh, and to get them into the conversation about how exactly, as far as the intervention into the constituency level and assembly level experience is concerned, how do we instill a more responsible environmentally responsible behavior in the outreach of the people as far as the bureaucracy as well? Because when we engage with different stakeholders, there are several challenges that come at different levels. So while we implement it, as Dr. Shikha has said, that the implementation and monitoring are both equally important.
So, first of all, thank you very much for having me here today. I would like to start with one small statement. I come from a state, Madhya Pradesh, and division Rewa. Rewa division is, I would say, it is uniquely placed because it has, when it started the solar revolution in India, Rewa was the pioneer in it. And the ultra mega solar plant was set up in Rewa and Gud, which is probably just 50 kilometers away from Rewa city. And this has pioneered the solar drive of India. After that, a lot of other major solar projects have come across India. Also, within this Rewa division, we also have a place called Singrauli, which is the coal hub also of India, hub of also India. So we have both the parameters in Rewa, which is the green energy, as well as the, I would say, the non-green energy. So both things are in Rewa just now, and we are facing and seeing in the ground level how both are operating just now. So the Rewa solar plant, when it came up, and now today we are sitting in Delhi, and the Delhi Metro is being run by the Rewa Solar Project, which is also one of the very important for Delhi because of the pollution that Delhi is facing now. Metro is driving the green revolution in Delhi. Now, I would talk about like the policy decisions. I think just now, the success that we are facing mostly today is in the smaller units where, the ghar mein solar lagane wala, I think that has been very successful across India. But like we have been seeing the discussions today, the biggest problem that I think the green revolution that is facing today is that there is a lack of investment from the bigger companies in India. Like I said, Rewa is the solar hub. The solar hub that is there is run by smaller companies. But the Singrauli hub is run by all the top industrialists of the country. So the top industrialists are reaping the benefits of the coal, but they're not helping us out anywhere in the green revolution. So I think that is a policy decision that we need to start taking, that the top brands should also start investing in these. I mean, Tata is there, but otherwise the other brands are not there, and they're not really helping out in this field. So I think the government of India has started. I mean, Pathak ji is there in the parliament, and I think Adani Narendra Modi ji is also now slowly and steadily starting to shift the policy decisions to go deep inside this green revolution. And I'm sure government of India and government of Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, like we see, all these governments are now pushing into this solar initiative. And like we saw the Africa-India discussion today, because India is just now lacking in the resources to make this solar equipments. What we see today, I think mostly is that even if we have the house solar projects, the subsidy is there, but the subsidy is there for the Indian companies to purchase the Indian brands. But when you go and buy the Chinese products are actually cheaper than the subsidized product by itself. So I think that is one of the biggest problem that we are facing, that the Indian brands are more expensive because they are, even though they are subsidized. So I think that is something which is very strange, that people are opting for the Chinese brand and not for the Indian brand because the Chinese is cheaper even without the subsidy. So it is quite strange. I think that is something we need to work on. And I think till the time we are not able to produce our own solar products, solar energy, solar panels by getting the raw products. Till then, I think we'll not be able to match the other companies. I think that is the most important thing. So I think that's something that we need to look into. That's it.
So you talked about how exactly we need to do a lot more while we also accelerate this further. And while we understand that there are different sort of changes that are required to be done at different levels, one thing that I really want to touch upon is that are we lacking in the resource side while we talk about the monitoring, or are we actually having enough resources but the implementation is lacking at some or the other level?
I think it's a balance that we need to work into, we need to start mass production. Until the time we don't have mass production, I think our products will not be viable. So, like I said, till the time we don't have a chain of supply for our products, because I think we don't have the resources in India, all the resources that we require to produce these equipments. And I think that's why we need to find those countries to collaborate with, so that we can start producing these products that we require to meet our own demands. I think that's something that the government needs to look into.
All right. In fact, on that note, I would also like to bring in Ms. Anita Badel, who comes from Rajasthan, and her primary career has been focused mostly in the work of women and child development, but she has actively become a very good voice into the climate resilience platform as well. Ma'am, your work has largely, in fact, affected a lot of people into promoting the nature and the kind of environment resilience attitude into most of the communities. While we speak of the clean energy resilience, what do you think about the initiatives at the government level that have helped reach the ground and the voices at the ground to bring about a change into the severe remote communities that have been largely affected by issues like water conservation or even on the land?
सबसे पहले तो मैं थैंक यू बोलना चाहूँगी क्लाइमेट पार्लियामेंट को कि उन्होंने इतना समृद्ध मंच हमें दिया। आज के जितने भी पैनल डिस्कशंस हुए उन सब में बहुत सारी नॉलेज और गवर्नमेंट लेवल पर अलग अलग फोरम पर हम क्या इनिशिएट कर रहे हैं उसका बहुत अच्छा डीपली डिस्कशन हुआ। क्लाइमेट पार्लियामेंट में एनवायरनमेंट और जलवायु परिवर्तन है ना, तो सबसे पहले तो मैं ये बताना चाहूँगी कि इंडियंस भारतीयों में जलवायु परिवर्तन और प्रदूषण ये मुद्दा आम अभी तक नहीं हुआ है ना। हम ग्रीन एनर्जी की बात करते हैं और ये चाहते हैं कि ग्रीन एनर्जी ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा प्रोड्यूस हो। किसी भी देश की को यदि इस आकलन से आंका जाए कि वो कितना विकसित है तो पर कैपिटा व्यक्ति कितना एनर्जी कंज्यूम कर रहा है ना, उस पर डिपेंड करता है। तो हम जितना ज़्यादा एनर्जी कंज्यूम करते हैं वो देश उतना विकसित कहलाता है। पर हमारे यहाँ एनर्जी को हम कैसे कंज्यूम कर रहे हैं, कितना कर रहे हैं, वो तो अभी मुद्दा है ही नहीं। रही मेरी कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी की बात है ना, आम लोगों की बात, तो मैं इतना ज़रूर कहना चाहूँगी कि व्यक्ति का स्वभाव परिवर्तन करना है ना, पॉलिसी बनाना एक बात है लेकिन पॉलिसी को इम्प्लीमेंट करना दूसरी बात है, पॉलिसी हूबहू इम्प्लीमेंट हो जाए। एक छोटा सा उदाहरण देना चाहूँगी, क्योंकि बहुत लंबा समय हमने पॉलिटिक्स में निकाला है, लगभग 25 ईयर्स, है ना, बहुत छोटी सी उम्र से। तो मैंने देखा है उन दिनों को भी जब निर्मल भारत स्कीम, ये भारत सरकार का ही स्कीम था, निर्मल भारत, लेकिन कहाँ पैसा जा रहा है, कौन इसको उपयोग कर रहा है, कैसे जा रहा है, कुछ पता नहीं था। लेकिन जब सोच आती है और आदमी में एक डेडिकेशन होता है कि नहीं मुझे चेंज करना है, तो वही निर्मल भारत स्कीम को बदल करके स्वच्छ भारत, निर्मल भारत और स्वच्छ भारत अलग नहीं है, एक उदाहरण बताना चाह रही हूँ। स्वच्छ भारत निर्मल भारत से ही आया है, लेकिन स्वच्छ भारत ने पूरा रेलिवेशन मतलब पूरा चेंज कर दिया। आप ये देखिए कि एक माइंडसेट बदल गया आदमी का व्यवहार बदल गया, और अब हम कोई चीज़ गाड़ी से फेंकते हैं तो थोड़ा सोचते हैं कि नहीं फेंकना है कि नहीं फेंकना है। ये सिर्फ एक लेवल के लोगों में परिवर्तन नहीं आया, बल्कि नीचे तक ये परिवर्तन देखने को मिलता है। तो स्कीम को इम्प्लीमेंट किस लेवल पर कर रहे हैं, कौन कर रहे हैं, ये बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है। बहुत सारी स्कीम, जैसे अभी पूरा डिस्कशन हुआ सोलर एनर्जी के बारे में, बहुत लंबा डिस्कशन हुआ, है ना। तो सोलर अभी भी एक्सेप्टेंस होनी चाहिए, ये अभी तक नहीं हुआ है। तो वो कैसे हो, यदि उस ओर ध्यान देकर के हम यदि इस पॉलिसी को और वाइबल बनाएंगे लोगों के लिए, तो मुझे लगता है कि हम लोगों तक एनर्जी को पहुंचा पाएंगे, वो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा कंज्यूम कर पाएंगे। और ग्रीन एनर्जी की जब हम बात करते हैं तो निश्चित रूप से हम सभी फैक्टर्स में, है ना, सिर्फ हमको बिजली के रूप में ग्रीन एनर्जी की बात नहीं करते। हम जब प्रदूषण की बात करते हैं, हम अभी दिल्ली का जो वायु का जो हवा का जो लेवल है उसकी बात करते हैं, आप पुणे महाराष्ट्र की बात करते हैं, तो बहुत चेंज, हमको बहुत चेंजेस करने की ज़रूरत है। और इसके लिए सभी पॉलिसी मेकर्स, है ना, एकजुट होकर एक फोरम पर आकर के यदि अच्छी पॉलिसी को इम्प्लीमेंट करने के लिए यदि बहुत डेडिकेशन के साथ में यदि करेंगे, तो मुझे लगता है कि पॉलिसी तो सारी पॉलिसी बहुत सोच समझ के बहुत अच्छे से बनती है, लेकिन जब वो धरातल पर उतरती है तो वो पूरी की पूरी परिवर्तित हो जाती है। तो उसको एज इट इज़ हूबहू यदि हम धरातल पर उतारें, तो मुझे लगता है कि हम जो परिवर्तन 5 साल में लाना चाहते हैं वो परिवर्तन 2 साल में, 1 साल में भी ला सकते हैं, मेरा ये सोचना है।
मैम बहुत अच्छी बात किया आपने, और जहाँ आपने धरातल पे चेंजेस आने की बात की है वहाँ पर आउटरीच का बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट सिग्निफिकेंस है, क्योंकि निर्मल से स्वच्छ का जो सफ़र है उसमें आउटरीच के बहुत कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशंस हैं।
मैंने वही कहा
तो
कि
जब
किस लेवल पर हम
बिल्कुल सही। और जब हम आउटरीच की बात करते हैं, अक्सर देखा जाता है कि क्योंकि इतने लेवल्स के थ्रू आप किसी चीज़ को फिल्टर करते हैं तो वो चेंज हो जाती है, पर अपने कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी लेवल पे, और अगर हम बात करें कि आपने धरातल पे जिस तरीके से क्लाइमेट एक्शन से रिलेटेड काम किया है, ऐसे क्या टेक अवेज हैं जिससे हम समझ सकते हैं उसके आउटरीच में एक बेटरमेंट होने का, क्योंकि वहीं से हमारी समझ बढ़ती है।
देखिए, मैं आपको बता रही हूँ ना कि हमारे यहाँ मुद्दा नहीं है, है ना, हम पेड़ लगा रहे हैं, ठीक है, हमारी कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी को ग्रीन बनाने के लिए हम पेड़ लगा रहे हैं, पर पेड़ से हमें वोट नहीं मिल रहा है। आप समझिए मेरी बात को, है ना। ये वोट का सोच जब तक नहीं बदलेगा जनप्रतिनिधियों में, तब तक वो चेंज नहीं ला सकते, ठीक है ना। मैंने अपनी कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी में जो वन विभाग की ज़मीनें तो 1000 पेड़ लगा के बड़ा किया, पर मेरे को वहाँ से रिटर्न नहीं मिलता है। अब मैं ये सोचूं कि नहीं मेरे को रिटर्न नहीं मिलेगा तो मैं नहीं करूँ ये काम। तो जनप्रतिनिधि वो काम भी करे जहाँ से उनको रिटर्न नहीं मिल रहा। सीधा आजकल क्या होता है, तुरंत मुझे तुरंत इसी इलेक्शन में वोट मिल जाए, इसी इलेक्शन में वोट परिवर्तन हो जाए। जब तक वो सोच नहीं बदलेगी तब तक हम लॉन्ग टर्म पर काम नहीं कर सकते। और ये सब काम लॉन्ग टर्म के होते हैं। आज आपने पेड़ लगाया, 10-15 साल बाद में वो फल देगा, है ना। मैं चाहूँ कि नहीं 5 साल बाद में फल देते, तो ऐसा नहीं होगा। तो जनप्रतिनिधियों की जब तक ये सोच नहीं बदलेगी तब तक वो लंबा और स्थायी काम नहीं कर सकते। तो लंबा और स्थायी काम तभी होगा जब आप अपनी सोच बदल करके लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए मेरी जनता को, मेरे आम व्यक्ति को इसका 10 साल बाद में क्या लाभ मिलेगा, चाहे मैं जीतूं या हारूं, पर 10 साल बाद में मेरा ये पेड़ लगाया हुआ उसको फल निश्चित रूप से देगा। यदि ये मेरी सोच होगी, ये हर जनप्रतिनिधि, कांग्रेस, बीजेपी का, सबकी, ये जियोपॉलिटिक्स वाला जो वातावरण है ना, यदि हमने स्वच्छ भारत लाए तो उसमें कुछ अगेंस्ट पार्टी के लोग 10 कमियां निकालेंगे, है ना, उसको माउथ पब्लिसिटी नहीं करेंगे तो उनकी कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज में तो वो नहीं गया ना। तो हम क्या सोचते हैं, हम पॉलिटिकल फ़ायदा ज़्यादा देखते हैं, बशर्ते कि हम लॉन्ग टर्म फ़ायदा देखें। पॉलिटिकल फ़ायदा भी देखना हमारा धर्म है क्योंकि हम पॉलिटिक्स कर रहे हैं, है ना, लेकिन कुछ चीज़ें ऐसी होती हैं जिनको आपको अलग रखना ही पड़ता है। हर चीज़ को पॉलिटिकल एंगल से नहीं देख सकते, यही मेरा कहना है।
Well, a comment like that would have definitely come from a person who's a true nature lover at heart. I would definitely insist on that. And while you said about importantly focusing on how there is a challenge and a fight between political benefit over the interest of the climate, Mr. Gaurav Pardhi has been a notable contribution also into emerging as a voice for the climate action within Madhya Pradesh, and he has been also selected by the Union Ministry of Environment to represent India at the Global Parliamentary Summit in Brazil. Sir, how do you think in this discourse that we are talking about, in the intervening of how exactly there are conflicts emerging from the political side, then there are personal benefits, then there are also the benefits for the region and for specifically for the people of the region. In your constituency, in your area, the kind of changes that you have seen that have contributed to a very nuanced approach into bringing a very poised sort of a change into the minds of people that has led to a bigger approach to lead forward.
So basically, there may be a lot of examples for what exactly you're looking for. But what I would like to say, like, just to give you example, I was mentioning somewhere else also, that what we are seeing, lot of cancer cases in my constituency. So I just went into it, why it's happening so. So I realized maybe because of more use of pesticides, fertilizers, in whatever we are producing, they somewhere they are affecting with our body anatomy and they are leading to it. So slowly we are trying to encourage people at least what you are going to for your own self, you stop using pesticides, at least for what you are going for your own self, because people, they won't suddenly stop using pesticides or fertilizers. So slowly nuanced, as you said, a nuanced approach. So slowly we are trying to encourage people to stop using pesticides, at least for what they are producing for their own self. So this is like just one of another example. And if I like to correlate it to green economy.
Yeah.
So basically still that perspective at ground level is yet to develop.
Yes.
At ground zero, like I come from Balaghat constituency, that perspective is yet to develop. But if I am representing that constituency and I am discussing it, it means it's already there. At the same time, it's still there. But if you say ground zero, it is yet to develop. Slowly, it will come up.
Don't you think there is a very huge challenge for the legislators, for the policymakers at large to connect the dots? What we speak here and what we really implement there is a huge challenge of a channel which we have to encounter.
So basically, that is what our job is. That's why we are there. We are the policy makers. We make legislations. We give direction to the nation. We give direction to the state. So if we are understanding and giving direction, everyone will follow it. So, and if we are there, we are giving direction, then automatically everything will start improving. And that's why we are there. So whether my last voter is able to understand it or not is that important. He will understand over a period of time. But if I am at a stage where I make policy, I decide policy, at least I should understand. Then I can give direction to the nation. For that, I am saying we are very fortunate. Our current national leadership as well as our state leadership, they are giving the right direction. Nation, anyway, we are seeing programs like FAME, we are seeing programs like LIFE to give direction to the green, resilient economy of Viksit Bharat. Recently, there was a lot of hue and cry regarding this change in that MG NREGA program. But that is the vision of our leadership, national leadership, that we made VBG Ramji, because they are looking in that way. So that has to come from, certain things have to come from the top, certain things come from the down, but if top is in right direction, everyone will follow it. So I believe ki right now we are moving in right direction with the right leadership at the right place, and for that we are very fortunate.
Well, on that note, while we are slowly marching towards the end of the entire discussion and panel, Mr. Pathak, it's important to, before we conclude the session, it's important to understand from you, and I would also like the audience to understand from the point where you have garnered the experience in the previous years. There is a huge conflict between the vision, while we speak of that at a national level, while we speak of that at a state level, while we speak of that at a level lower than that. So, from policy intent to the outreach for a sustained outcome, how do you actually, navigate that entire channel? This is for the next decade, by the way, what I'm asking about.
I totally agree with you. आपने एक बहुत अच्छा प्रश्न पकड़ा है, I would say. Among the various questions, आपने बिल्कुल टच किया है उस
I
क्वेश्चन
have
को.
saved this one for you.
थैंक यू. सो अब इसको मैं सरल भाषा में रखूं ताकि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोगों को ये समझ आए. पहली चीज़ तो ये समझना चाहिए कि कोई भी सरकार हो इस देश में, ज़्यादातर सरकारों का उद्देश्य पवित्र ही है और देश के लिए ही है. अब प्रश्न ये उठता है कि जब सारे अच्छा सोच रहे हैं तो भाई अच्छाई की स्पीड तो उतनी नहीं है जितनी होनी चाहिए. फिर प्रश्न उठता है कि कहाँ गलत हो रहा है. फिर हम सोचते हैं कि हमने अच्छा सोचा, अब उसको अच्छा करना है. अब ये सोचने में और होने में काफ़ी डिफरेंस है, डिस्टेंस है. दो फंडामेंटल चीज़ें हैं, बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं, मिलियंस ऑफ थिंग्स आर देयर, बट इफ आई हाईलाइट ओनली 2 की थिंग्स. सबसे पहले जो मुझे लगता है कि हमारे देश में देश से ज़्यादा इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉलिटिकल एम्बिशंस प्राइमरी और सेंटर स्टेज जब ले लेते हैं तो क्या होता है कि हमारा सिस्टम कॉम्प्लेक्स पॉलिटिकल सेटअप में है. अब आपको मैं बताता हूँ, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट है, फिर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट है, फिर कॉरपोरेशन लेवल पे गवर्नमेंट है, फिर जिला पंचायत है, फिर ब्लॉक समिति है, फिर जाते 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 पंचायत लेवल पे है. अब सोचो कि हर लेवल की अपनी एक कार्य प्रणाली है, हर लेवल अपने तरीके से काम करेगा. एक लेवल से काम फाइल दूसरे लेवल में पहुंचने में वहां पे लॉसेज हैं, यहां से यहां लॉस. ये लॉस इतना, सिस्टम इतना कॉम्प्लेक्स हो जाता है नीचे नीचे. तो दो चीजें, पहला तो सिस्टेमिक कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी है क्योंकि बहुत सारे स्टेक होल्डर हैं, यहां इसकी सरकार है, वहां उसकी सरकार है, वहां. अब मान लो मैं ऊपर की सरकार में हूं, मैं नहीं चाहता कि यहां पे काम हो, तो मैं चाहूं तो उसको रोक सकता हूं, या कई बारी अच्छा चाहते हुए भी नहीं होता है. तो पहला तो ये है कि पॉलिटिकल प्रायोरिटीज टेक द सेंटर स्टेज over the national priorities. That sometimes because of the electoral compulsion it keeps happening. Not necessarily you कि आप सोचते हो कि नहीं मैं ऐसे करके देश को हानि, आप ऐसे सोच नहीं पाते हो क्योंकि
When we are talking about the entire systematic understanding of how exactly we lead towards this, do you think when you said that political priorities most likely take a upfront benefit over these priorities, do you think that we should be okay with all of this while we talk about a larger change?
No. But before that, let me highlight one very important point. The second point is the institutional integrity. आप जब देश को विकसित कैसे बनाते हो? मेरे पास ऐसा कोई टूल या किसी के पास भी टूल नहीं है कि जाए और देश को ऐसे विकसित. आप इंस्टीट्यूशंस बनाते हो, इंस्टीट्यूशंस की इंटेग्रिटी बढ़ाते हो, एफिशिएंसी बनाते हो, फिर वो इंस्टीट्यूशन देश को विकसित बनाता है. हम अगर ये सोचे कि मैं देश को ऐसे कर दूंगा या मैं एमपी हूं, ऐसे नहीं. हम इंस्टीट्यूशंस बिल्ड करते हैं, वो इंस्टीट्यूशंस फिर देश बिल्ड करते हैं. तो ये दो चीजें हैं. मोटा मोटे हमारा देश राइट डायरेक्शन में जा रहा है, हम सिर्फ उसको और स्पीड अप कैसे करें उसकी बात कर रहे थे. और जो प्रश्न आप पूछे, वैसा होना नहीं चाहिए कि पॉलिटिकल इंटरेस्ट सेंटर स्टेज नहीं लेना चाहिए. आप विकसित देशों में और विकासशील देशों में एक फंडामेंटल डिफरेंस आपको मिलेगा. आप किसी भी यूनाइटेड किंगडम को फॉर एग्जांपल उठा के देखिए, उनमें जो मैटर कंट्री से रिलेटेड है, चाहे कोई भी सरकार आए, उस पर पॉलिटिक्स होते ही नहीं है. मतलब मैं 10 साल 9 साल वहां पे रहा, मुझे कभी ऐसे इश्यूज पे डिबेट होते दिखा नहीं जो नेशनल इंटरेस्ट का है. आपको पता ही नहीं चलेगा कि वहां पे पॉलिटिकल डिवाइड है. जो इश्यूज नेशनल इंटरेस्ट का नहीं है, लोकल कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी, उस पे होती है. और पॉलिटिक्स तो करना पड़ेगा आपको क्योंकि आप पॉलिटिक्स में है, जैसे कि वन ऑफ आवर पैनलिस्ट सेड. ऑल आई एम ट्राइंग टू से इसकी धीरे धीरे पॉलिटिकल मैच्योरिटी को, ट्रांसपेरेंसी को उस लेवल पे लेके जाना पड़ेगा कि भाई ये देश हित का है, इससे बैक ऑफ करो, इस पे कोई राजनीति और नेतागिरी कोई नहीं करेगा। पहली चीज। दूसरी चीज, इंस्टीट्यूशनल इंडिपेंडेंसी चाहिए अपने को, इंस्टीट्यूशनल इंटेग्रिटी चाहिए। आप देश विकसित बनाना है, इंस्टीट्यूट बनाओ, इंस्टीट्यूट देश बनाएगा। तीसरा, जो ब्यूरोक्रेटिक कॉम्प्लेक्सिटीज है उसमें एफिशिएंसीज कैसे 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 ला सकते हैं, ये अगर हम करते गए तो हमारा देश और भी ज़्यादा तेज गति से आगे जाएगी। ये ऐसा मेरी थोड़ी सी जो समझ है, ऐसा मेरा मानना है।
Well, that's a very valid, in fact, not just valid, I would say, more extended approach that you have highlighted. And on that note, while you have touched upon the part where you are saying that political maturity needs to be strengthened at large, Dr. Shikha Meel, I would also want you to also speak on this. While you come from a place where several issues related to climate pressure have increasingly been witnessed in the past few decades as well, even though when we speak of the ground realities, they are not really similar to what really the national interest in the same region have reflected. So how do you think, when you balance with the policy and the kind of approach that you are implementing on the ground, and you in that position has to really take a hold and grip onto that implementation, what is that way where one should look at from a point of view of a legislator over there?
When we talk about all these policies and benefits reaching to the people, strong planning, foolproof planning, with good intent, strong willpower, top to bottom एक transparency हो, and public awareness, all these matter a lot. So when we are talking about all this was the word about the word green. Now, in such a scenario, unfortunately, recently there was a verdict from a top institution regarding Aravallis. So when we are talking about renewable energy and all, and एक तरफ हम Aravallis के against एक ऐसा verdict दे रहे हैं, which was a nationwide debate. It ignited a nationwide debate. So those loopholes, they should be taken care of, and public awareness, that we should work in that direction to create public awareness. And I'm happy that we have nowadays we have a youth which is a fraction, but there is a segment of youth who have a good scientific temperament, balanced scientific and religious temperament, and they analyze every situation very well, all the pros and cons. And this social media, this has played a negative role as well as a positive role in the youth. They are having much reach to the whatever is happening in national level, at local level, at state level. So they are talking about this, and there was much discussion about R&D. So we definitely need to work in that direction, and public awareness but is the key.
Public awareness. Yeah. And you have rightly ignited a word conservation here while you made these statements. On that, I would also like to take a comment from Mr. Divyaraj, who represents a region which is very rich in significant natural resources, and in the legislative capacity that you come from, you have addressed the intersection of farming and climate. But as ma'am has also highlighted, and I would also like to address that note here, that when you play an intersection of these two different and very extreme world to a person who is largely related to their own work, how do you make the work at the ground level with the farming sector more nuanced with the approach that could be taken for the benefit of the climate?
So like you said, my region or my constituency is mostly farmer based, and you're saying that how do we get the farmers to be more aware of green energy or green to be more efficient in what they're doing. I think the most important thing today is saving of water, because water resources also are very less just now, And just now, I think the biggest problem that in rural India that we face, especially in my region, I think at least, is that the fact that most of the farmers, I mean, Pardiji said about increasing use of urea and DAP. The other factor that the water wastage is happening a lot. So हम लोग नहरें बना रहे हैं, पाइपलाइन से पानी पहुंचा रहे हैं, बट जब बात खेत में सिंचाई की होती है, तो then the farmers are still using the old methods of सिंचाई, directly पानी भर देना instead of using drip irrigation or sprinkling irrigation. So these things, I think that is something that the government needs to start doing, so that the farmers, they use modern technology to save water, because water just now is a very pressing thing for our country, which will very soon be very difficult to sustain. So I think to have the sustainability in water is something that is very important. And slowly, I think what we are starting is, पहले तो हर घर में, हर आदमी, हर मोहल्ले में हैंड पंप चाहता था, बट अब धीरे धीरे now we are moving towards हर घर में नल की टोटी लगाने का. जैसे like we said, today our country, there was a time when I became MLA in 2013. In 2013, I had 100 villages, out of which probably 20-30 villages didn't have electricity. But today, all my villages are fully electrified. So I think in the next 5-10 years, all the villages will also have clean drinking water in every household. I think that will be also a very big achievement for the country. And how we save that water, because पानी तो पहुंचा दिया, लेकिन पानी वेस्ट नहीं होना चाहिए. आई थिंक दैट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. तो आई थिंक उसको भी हम लोग को एड्रेस करने की बहुत आवश्यकता है, कि जिससे कि हम पानी हमारा जो है वो बर्बाद ना हो.
But for the next decade, sir, before we move forward to the next question to Miss Anita, for the next decade, what do you think is that one approach in the similar regions which are very much engaged into the farming that have to apply to bring a very modernized change that is needed in sync with the climate action?
एक्चुअली मैं इस पे जवाब नहीं दे पाऊंगी, क्योंकि माय कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी
This was addressed to Mr. Divyaraj.
हाँ हाँ,
Yes,
100%
this was addressed.
I heard Anita ji, that's
I was going to move to her next.
So what did you say? I'm sorry, I didn't catch you.
For the next decade, what approach do you think that is limited to that narrative which needs to be fostered for the farming related people to also apply, that they can also be more effective?
I think I spoke about that with the water part, but anyways, I think like even Gaurav ji said, I think we need to start moving back to those old methods of even old crops that we have lost, because हमारे जो पुराने crops थे वो they were much more nutrient. हमारे जो the new crops that we are having, they are high yield, but they are not giving the benefit that everybody requires. We have to start moving back to that natural farming also to an extent, and to how to make that natural farming viable. Because अगर उसका हम लोग viability नहीं ला पाएंगे तब तक I think वो और उसकी एक मार्केटिंग के लिए भी हमको ज़रूरत पड़ेगी कि जो हमारा प्रोड्यूस है वो सही ढंग से मार्केट में पहुंच जाए. बिकॉज अगर कई सारी जगहों पे हम देखते हैं, जैसे हम नाउ आई थिंक फ्रॉम हाइब्रिड क्रॉप्स टू कमिंग बैक टू दोज व्हाट यू कॉल दीज organic ones, I'm losing the word, organic farming. So I think organic farming is, I think, the new thing that we need to come back. I think that's the next decade is for organic farming, I think.
All right. In fact, now, Miss Anita, what I would also like to speak to you about is, I feel that you have been that person who's very close to nature on a personal level, and the kind of passion that you have spoken has also insisted me to ask you about that. There is a conservationist that I met recently. They have very rightly said that the government wants to, get more trees, and they want to plant more trees, they want to plant more saplings, but they're not thinking much about how to actually save the ones that they are exactly there. And while it contradicts at some level the actions that are brought at some or the other judiciary, political or any other level, how do you make this sort of a contradiction simplified for people who you want to be on board with the climate action plan? at your level, in your legislation, or people who are listening to you, people who you go to and speak to you about the initiatives that are there in your legislation?
देखिए, गवर्नमेंट हर साल, है ना, लाखों करोड़ों रुपया खर्च करती है, लेकिन उसके बावजूद भी हमें रिजल्ट नहीं आता। उसका सबसे बड़ा कारण है कि कोई भी स्कीम, कोई भी काम जब तक स्वयं वो आम जन का ना हो जाए, तब तक वो स्वीकार्यता उसकी नहीं बनती है। और जब तक उसकी स्वीकार्यता नहीं बनेगी, तब तक एक फॉर्मेलिटी, है ना, एक औपचारिकता बन करके रह जाता है। तो जनता की स्वीकार्यता को करना ये बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है। और उसके लिए मैं राजस्थान का एक उदाहरण बताना चाहूँगी। राजस्थान में राजसमंद की एक छोटी सी पंचायत है पिपरोली। वो पिपरोली पंचायत में आप देखिए कि हर बेटी के जन्म पर पेड़ लगता है, और जब वो बेटी 21 साल की हो जाती है, 18 साल की हो जाती है, तो उस पेड़ के जितने फल होते हैं, बेचने के बाद में उस बेटी के नाम से एफडी होता है ना। और पूरी घोल ग्राम पंचायत इस काम को करती है। और जब बेटी होती है तब पूरा परिवार वहाँ जाकर के पेड़ लगाता है, वो पेड़ उनको सपोर्ट कर देते हैं। तो ये आम जनता को आप किस तरह से एंगेज कर रहे हो, है ना, उसका रिलेशन उसके साथ में जब तक आप भावात्मक नहीं बनाओगे, तब तक कोई भी स्कीम आपकी इम्प्लीमेंट हो ही नहीं सकती है। हर वर्ष हर सरकार लाखों रुपए पेड़ लगाने में लगाती है, वन विभाग में लगाते हैं, लेकिन यदि उतने लाखों रुपए में यदि वो पेड़ बड़े हो जाएं, तो मेरे ख्याल से दूसरे साल हमको कुछ करना ही ना पड़े, कुछ भी ना करना पड़े। पर इतना पैसा वेस्ट ऑफ मनी होता है सरकार का। तो ये ज़रूरी है कि हम जो ब्यूरोक्रेट्स हैं, जो मशीनरी हैं, जो पाठक सर ने कहा ना, जो अलग अलग लेवल पर मतलब हमारे संस्थागत जो इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं, है ना, प्रधानमंत्री जी ने आह्वान करा कि एक पेड़ माँ के नाम, है ना, लेकिन वो आह्वान नीचे तक उसी भाव के साथ में ट्रांसफ़र हुआ है क्या, है ना। यदि वो ट्रांसफ़र नहीं हुआ है तो आप कुछ भी कर लें, लेकिन आपको एनवायरनमेंट को आप चेंज नहीं कर सकते। तो सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है कि आप में कितनी इच्छा शक्ति है, और इच्छा शक्ति के साथ में आप एंगेज करें लोगों को भाव के साथ में। भावात्मक रूप से आप जब तक एंगेज नहीं करेंगे किसी भी स्कीम के साथ, और एनवायरनमेंट का पर बोलते नहीं हैं हम लोग, है ना तो कोई जनप्रतिनिधि बोलता है, ना कोई सरकार बोलती है, कोई एनवायरनमेंट पर नहीं बोलते हैं कि हमारा वायु प्रदूषण कितना हो रहा है, हमारा प्रदूषण कितना हो रहा है, कुछ नहीं बोलेंगे। और हमारे को आप तो सबसे बड़ी बात है कि हम जब चुनाव में जाते हैं, इलेक्शन में जब जाते हैं, तो कोई एनवायरनमेंट के नाम पे वोट मांगता है क्या? नहीं मांगता ना।
आपने पहले भी ये बात कही थी कि हमारे जो पॉलिटिकल इंटरेस्ट हैं वो हमारे है रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, लेकिन वो छोड़ के हम आगे बढ़ेंगे तभी कोई एक ब्रॉडर।
नहीं, तो जनता में भी ये अवेयरनेस नहीं है ना। जनता खुद से ये कहे कि आप हमारे यहाँ ग्रीन एनर्जी लाएंगे, आप हमारे यहाँ हवा को शुद्ध करेंगे, तो हम वोट देंगे आपको। ये मुद्दा नहीं है हिंदुस्तान में।
जनता अगर ऐसा बोल देगी तो कहाँ फिर जाएंगे सब लोग? तो जनता नहीं बोल सकती।
तो ये एजुकेट करना, है ना, ये करना तो हमारा ही दायित्व है ना। अभी हम देखिए, अभी सर बात कर रहे थे ना कि पेस्टिसाइड डलता है, तो जो क्रॉप पहले आती थी, वो क्रॉप पहले बहुत थोड़ी क्रॉप ही सेटिस्फाई करती थी, और वो इतना आपको एनर्जी देती थी कि आपको ज़रूरत नहीं होती थी। आज हम पूरा भरपेट खाना खा रहे हैं। एक ज़माना था जब रोटी नहीं मिलती थी, लेकिन आदमी का स्वास्थ्य अच्छा था। आज हम भरपेट खाना खा रहे हैं। कोई आज की तारीख में हिंदुस्तान में ये नहीं कह सकता कि वो भूखा सोया है। सबको खाना है, लेकिन गुणात्मक रूप से पूरी तरह से ख़त्म हो गया। इतनी सारी बीमारियां हैं कि आदमी अब उस पैसे को, जिस पैसे से हम अनाज उगा रहे हैं, है ना, उस पैसे से बचा करके अब हम कैंसर के इलाज में, हमारे यहाँ गंगानगर से एक ट्रेन चलती है, और वो ट्रेन जाती है बॉम्बे टाटा हॉस्पिटल, और उसका नाम है कैंसर ट्रेन। क्योंकि गंगानगर में हमारे गेहूँ बहुत ज़्यादा उगता है, और इतना पेस्टिसाइड उसमें डालता है, इतना डलता है कि वो पूरा गेहूँ जहरीला है। वहाँ पूरे गांव के गांव कैंसर से पीड़ित हैं, पूरे गांव के गांव, पूरी ट्रेन का नाम ही कैंसर ट्रेन है। तो हम अल्टीमेटली जा कहाँ रहे हैं, क्या अचीव कर रहे हैं?
Very rightly said, and I mean, the kind of experiences that you have garnered from the ground, they hit a chord of how exactly we are going to deal with this. And at large, what really brings back in focus is how we develop a plan at a large level to strategize, a narrative in which this is also implemented at every level, not just at a policy level, not just at a level where we have closed door meetings, and not the level where we think of the stakeholders coming onto the fore, but at a level where the last mile connection has been also sent. Thank you very much, and I extend all my thanks to all the panelists who have very wholeheartedly participated into this discussion and really made it very insightful. I have really thoroughly enjoyed it, and I thank all of you to have contributed in such high value into making the discussion from mandate to impact a really reasonable one. Thank you.